foot off, you know, at the bottom here, and then I'll turn it over and tool it later on. So I do, you know, tool these if I don't tool them. But any other thing, like usually adding appendages and things like that, I'll do right now. You know what I mean? And because it seems like what I want to do is work with the image as it's registering on me. You know, that's the one reason. You know, it's one of the reasons why I went to salt firing. That kind of process, the immediacy of it. You know, is because I found myself actually like making the form. You know, and then letting it get leather hard the next day, and then tooling it the next day. You know. Then waiting another day or 5 days, and then bisque firing it. Then after the bisque firing it, I would decorate it, you know, and I would glaze it. Then I'd finally put it in a glaze kiln. See, well, this might be 2 weeks or something, and by that time I'm so far removed from the image, you know, that I can't deal with it. So that and see, it's the other thing. See, we go back to the recording possibilities of the clay. At the end of the day, you know, I feel that the clay records where you were psychologically that day, you know. That's what that day's work is about, you know. Tomorrow's going to be something else. I mean, if your life's like my life, you know, every day, you know, in the life, a little something's got to fall, right? And it usually is, you know. So my life changes all the time, from day to day, day to day. See, that's why I got out of cutting meat, because it wasn't changing, you know. Very easy to get the hell out of that situation, you know, just move, you know. It's really put one foot in front of the other and lean forward. Be surprised where you'll go, you know. So I don't run like people running around like the track at school, you know, they run nowhere, you know. Just think if all those years when you're running around that circle, you would have just run straight, you know. Just think where you would have gone, what you could have seen, you know. When you think about it, it's fantastic. So anyhow, I like the idea of it recording me that time, that day, that time, boom, right there, you know. So that's why I work with the immediacy of it now, see. And so I'm not worried about whether it's going to fall down or whether it's going to break or whether it's going to slump or whatever, you know. It doesn't matter. The fact that you did it to this point is a fact of it. It's enough justification doing it, you know. The piece probably wanted to fall over or slide down or do something, you know. It probably was the best thing that ever happened to it, and lots of times, you know what I mean? You know, really, see. So you do that. So you just worry because you know you're going to be able to center it. You know you're going to be able to make another piece, and it's not precious, you know. And you don't have any instructor coming around cutting in half to look at the section, you know. Like, I never do that. See, I don't know how you teach. Y'all teach whatever. That's okay. You know, it doesn't make any difference, you know. I don't believe in practicing to make art, you know. I don't believe in warming up to it, you know. We make it right away, you know. We don't make any practice pots, you know. We right away, we put down what we feel is a logical and pleasing form, you know. Whether it's that thick or that thick, I don't really care, you know. If it blows up, it's just too thick, you know. If it doesn't blow up, boy, it works great, you know. Yeah. See, it really doesn't matter, you know. You will adjust all of that as you work. You will adjust that, you know. Let's just take that for a minute, you know. Say it's you know, you throw this thing, yeah, it's that thick, this little thing, you know, boy, I really like it, you know. Well, just fire, sure, put it in there, fire. See. So I fire the thing, and it doesn't blow up. They say, wow, it's so heavy, I can't pick it up, you know. I mean, before I put coffee in it, I can't pick it up, you know. So your mind will say, must be made lighter. I see that. Sure, I'm not a dummy. And so you will correct all of those things, you know. But you don't start out trying to correct them before you know what the hell you're trying to correct. You see what I mean? See? And so you just start doing. Nor do we start out with saying, I'm going to make cups, you know. I'll say, okay, today, I want to start out with a vessel that can be filled with fluid and you can transport what you can drink out of it. You know? I never use the word cup. See, because as soon as I say cup, they go, cup, bing, and the little thing like Jack and Dog and Jane comes into your mind and you cup, see? But if you use it and talk about its use first, what's going to happen with it, its a rationalization for existing, then you will approach it in your own way, what that means to you, see? And that, listen, and we talk about selling, and this is right in with selling, you know. People want part of you is what you're selling. It's you. You're not selling pottery so much, you know. It's part of you, and they'll pay for it, you know. But here I'm really getting on the, you just got to stay, I guess, you know, I just got to tell, because when I think about something, I got it, because my interest span is very short. And if I don't tell you what to think about it, I don't tell you about it, see. But it's important, you know, that people need y'all, you know. They don't need dishes, see. They need y'all. And if you're in your dishes, which become pottery forms, that's what they want to buy. Otherwise, we go down to the store and buy commercially produced ware. A lot cheaper, a lot stronger, a lot better glazed, a lot better everything else except the personal product than you can do, you know. And a great example of this is, if you go down up in Ohio, right? Go down to Taylor Smith and Taylor, okay? Here is, we got these bags of feldspar, There they got, this huge silo full of feldspar, silo full of barium, silo full of, freight cars for tunnel kills, And these people are in there, they're loading them with plates, they're loading them like just greenware. It's a place, holy mother, God, and these cars going through, right through this huge cars going through. Exactly. You look at it, and here it's 7 dozen wheel heads, and 7 dozen poised jigger arms. The guy pushes a button, 7 dozen balls of clay, bing, 7 dozen jigger arms, bing, 7 dozen plates. Now, you're going to compete with that? No way. See, you're doing something entirely different. Now, you are competing with it, and if your images are only the same as industry, then you can't charge any more industry charges. Then you're in price competition. That's the way it is. See, like when I was over in Australia, I was talking to people, and they said, "Well, we can only charge so much." And I looked at it, I wondered why. I thought, well, I guess that's true. Because they're not real. I didn't mean to be nasty, because it's not. I was saying because if you look at the images and your glazes even, the same glazes, the same images that industry is producing. So if you're going to do that, you cannot compete, price-wise. See? But I'll be damned if I'm going to work at less than minimum wage, And you got to pay yourself at least a minimum wage, an hourly wage. Like sitting here today, you should be charging this off to your business today. See, you pay yourself for this day, Loading this takes, look how long it takes me to make that. Normally, right? Craig, the shortest length of time you're going to spend is sitting down at the wheel. That's probably the shortest length of time. Glazing, finding materials, just ship stuff. That's probably one of the biggest times, Packing your kills, firing your kills. I don't know about you, when I'm firing a kill, I can't do anything with fire to kill, Because I clean up the shop and do things I can't make wear because my energies are going into firing the kill and being in tune with the kill. So that's another whole thing to talk about, Okay? So you have to charge a wage for that, The cost of material is nothing, see? The cost of firing, that's nothing, My kill, okay, my kill, when I fired a kill, it cost me, depending on whether it's 20 below zero or 70 degrees outside, anyway, if I fire with propane, So that I fired a kill, let's say it's really cold outside, then it cost me maybe $80, $90 maybe to fire my kill, all right? $100 maybe to fire to kill, see? So I think of that and say, wow, $100, But then I open the kill and I take, if the things work, and I got about $7,000 worth of wear in the kill. So that's nothing cost of firing. You got gas, if you got it, really, it's the way I look at it anyhow, see? But the cost is right here. There's two things, that the material cost, it is the cost of the expense, all that stuff, and then the aesthetic value that you put on it. That's the hardest thing, putting the aesthetic value on as related to a monetary thing, and it's a hard thing to do. Here you have 2 bowls that are the same. One's $100, one's $7, Same size. It's a hard thing. That's a hard part of it. But anyhow, what I'm trying to say is you've got to charge more than minimum wage, And I look around and the potters do it to themselves, We have always done it to ourselves, We're very romantic, and that's beautiful. We wouldn't have it any other way. We want to have more pasta, more people for less money. That's bullshit, Because, if I have to go to the movie, what's it cost me to go to a movie, If I take my wife to a movie, it's $7, $8 just to go to a damn old film, which are usually lousy movies anyhow, I go down there, I want to buy a pair of boots, I go buy a pair of boots, you got a $200 bill shot on a pair of boots, right? You know what? You buy a pair of, designer jeans, I went in there and a guy wanted to charge me $27 for a pair of overalls, I said, are you out of your gourd? I paid $13 for these, which I about flipped for sneakers, $13. I said, wow, and I'm trying to ask somebody to give me $3 for a coffee mug? Hey, go down to a hardware store or where they sell the dishes, and you see how much they're getting even for a redwood flower box, right? There's probably more than your charge. I'm not putting you down, more than I was, because this is how whenever I say you, I mean me too, because, I'm not telling you nothing I didn't do. Probably worse than you ever did it, And I look in here, they were getting more for redwood planters than I was getting for a flower, for a pot, for a thrown planter, I said, whoa, something is wrong, Someone didn't tell me in school. Someone didn't talk to me. Someone didn't say, hey, you're a good person, Slavery is gone, It's okay. Don't worry about theoretically anyhow, But you put yourself in chains, You really do. And you start thinking about what I have to buy, and if you start bringing prices down to you know, what you buy every day. See, an example of this was one time, and then I'll really go say, I know he's nervous. Don't worry, I'll start working pretty soon. It's all right. I will. I've got it. Be all right. I'm at Evanston. I won't talk. Mike's on. Evanston, Illinois. Okay. And so I'm at an art fair. See, I started doing the art fairs. You know. Now art fairs are like sideshows to me. Anyway, you know, you just cannot make a living at art fairs. It seems. It's just like generally. I know you can. Please, everything I say just sort of water it down a little bit. You know, you got to talk directly. There's so many slices come out of this little bitty pie anymore. It used to be you go to art fair, we go to the Gold Coast, go to Old Town, so you know, and it was myself and Cole Scott and Wilton and you know people. If I would see you know a $3,000 piece of sculpture sell out of the gutter, even at those days, you know, because people came to see the artists. Because you know who was there? Artists. There was no hobbyists there. You know, I'm not putting down hobbies. Please don't. I don't mean that any way at all. You know, but I'm saying people who are making a full-time living at their work were there, okay? And they were charging the prices they had to charge to make this living, to send a couple of kids through school on an artist's living, you know? Just to raise a kid, right? To raise that boy, you make a lot of pasta, I'll tell you. That's bad, you know? See? Or have a big garden, you know, all that kind of stuff. Right, you know. And, you know, so this lady, so I'm sitting and I'm getting up with this trouble. I have it. My one other great attribute is digression. I'm sorry about that. I'm sitting there, see? So this lady's coming by, see? Matter of fact, two things happened that same day. I'm going to tell you both of them, okay? First, I'll switch from the first thing I'll tell you about a potter came. She said to me, she said, Don, she said, talking about the prices. She said, come on, Don. She said, how long did it take you to make that bowl, you know? I said, about 15 years at that time, you know? Right? Hey, this bowl right here, it took me about 25 years to make that bowl, you know? You got to think about that. You know, ask a dentist how long it took him to be a dentist or a doctor or you know, think about other things, see, other professions, see? And I agree with that. I agree with that. See? Okay, so that afternoon, this lady comes by, see, and nice-looking lady. That's why I kind of remember this lady. I enjoy voyeurism. You say, oh, I hide behind my pasta. I like that. That's all right. That was one of the pleasures of the art fair. You don't sell anything, but it was an 8 in the hot summer. Everybody walking down the street. All right. Anyhow, so lady over there. And I said, she said, boy, they're a lot of money, you know. I said, yeah. And I was always known for not really selling for a lot of money, you know. I said, wow, yeah. I said, yeah, not really that much. I said, well, how does someone afford your work, you know? And I mean, at that time, you know, for my work was really, you know, she's talking about a $50 pot. You know, matter of fact, it was $50. It was a cover, which I used to have these $50 pieces, you know. And so it was a nice pint. I said, well, it's just a nice piece, you know. And I feel proud of it. It's a nice piece, you know. And she said, well, how do you? Well, I looked at her, I said, well, see, she's got a Bailey hat on, right, you know? And I see, she's got to have Justin or Tony Lama, you know, boots on, you know, and that's elephant ear hide there, you know? And she's got these leather shine breeches, you know? And I'm thinking, and I said, how do you afford to get those boots and those breeches? And she said, well, I'll save my money. I said, there you go. That's how you get my money. Save up, you know? And that's true. If someone wants to, they'll save up for it, you know? And I say, tell them, just save up, save your money. Anyway, let's go. Pricing your wear report. What was I going to do? I don't know why I keep doing that. There must be some reason for me to do that. I did that. I'll probably figure that out. Okay, now we'll take this one off and I'll there you go, a little less below there. So I'll set that foot now, see, kind of the way I want it, you know. I'll set that foot. And I like what's happening at this point. I like what's happening underneath there, you know. That's what's another neat thing that's so neat about this clay, see. It's always changing. Something's always happening, you know. And you got to say, oh, hold it. And you do that, see, you'll never do that same thing again, you know. That's why your pieces become unique, because what happens is your pieces are about you, and you're unique. And look at us all in this room, you know. There's nobody the same size, race, creed, hair. We're all different, you know. When I taught public school, I taught public school, right, you know, for about 2 years. And I said, whoa, and I had to quit being a meat cutter to have, you know, I was on her read food, and I couldn't help her read food. Like, what, you know, in Dover, New Jersey, see. You know, that's the other thing. Dover, New Jersey is where you were at, because I was really strong built at that time, you know. You had to be to teach. It's one of the prerequisites to teaching in Dover, New Jersey. You had to be, you know, black belt was preferred. That gave you another $1,000 raise. You walk down all the twos, right? And the kids will open the locker door, bang, and say, "Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Reitz, we didn't see you." What am I doing? This is ridiculous, because I used to have to chaperone some of the other teachers down the hall, because I didn't mind fighting. Matter of fact, that time I kind of liked it. It was a different time period of life that time. I used to get funny.